Here we go, Miss Tamika Bisham. The floor is
Awesome,
yours.
awesome. Let's do this. Hello, ladies. How are you doing? My name is Tamika Bispham, and I am so excited to be on this call. It's such a privilege and an honor that Michelle lets me get on and talk to you guys for a little bit. I think that these are always so amazing. I'm always super stoked to do them. Tonight, I definitely want to talk about two very important things, and it's the two P's. I think that they're very successful, and we're going to talk about planning. Not only are we going to talk about planning, we're also going to talk about purpose, right? Before we do that, I definitely want to tell you a little bit about myself, who I am, and why I actually get to talk to you about this, right? So again, my name is Tamika Bispham. Right now, I'm just leaving an event. It's really awesome here. It was a marketing event. Again, part of my plan, making sure that I get the best trainings, and this is part of it. But yeah, so I'm a single mom of two children, and I love and adore my children. They mean the world to me. And about 4 years ago, I ended up going into a shelter, and it was a very difficult time in my life. And I was upset, I was bummed out, but at the same time, it was the best time in my life because that was a time that I realized that I needed to do something different in order to get something different, right? I've always had a 9 to 5. I've always been a sales manager. I've always been a manager of some sorts, right? I've always worked hard, but I was working way harder and not smart working, right? So while I was there, I made a decision because when things like this happen, you get to this point in your life where you're just like, you know what, something has to give. And looking at your children, very young children, my son was like 5 months and my daughter was 4 years old. So looking at their faces in this one small room, like, I will never do this to you guys again. This will never happen, and I had to apologize to them time and time again because I love them. They mean the world to me. So I apologized, and what ended up happening when I made that decision, the universe got out of my way and amazing things started happening because I started planning and I had purpose. My purpose was to ensure that my children lived a different life. My purpose was to create a legacy for my children, right? And change our circumstances. Now it was time to make sure that I started planning. So while I was in there, I did that. So that's really the basis of what we're going to talk about tonight. I was really trying to actually open up and my phone and get the quotes that I have out because I have so many notes for you guys. But I'm afraid it might actually shut off the actual phone, so I won't do that. But I definitely have a story for you, and I want to know if you guys actually can relate to this story. It's about dreamers, right? So every once in a while, some dreamers will write down some dreams, right? And then they become goals. That's something that I did. That was something that I made sure that I made happen. I started writing down all of my dreams. Why did I write them down? Because I know in order to have dreams become reality, I have to write them down and start planning. So, the second step in all of this, when you're a dreamer, is to start planning out the steps so that you can actually have a plan, a strategy. And I did that. And the final step for a dreamer or myself, like what I did, is to actually put it into action, start executing, right? And that's how dreams really come true. Now, what I will tell you is the amazing company that we're a part of, because I wrote down my dreams. It came into my life because I started doing things differently. So Wealth Generators was introduced to me by one of my friends because I started moving a lot differently. And they helped me formulate my dream into something bigger than it would ever be. I can't even imagine where I'd be at right now, because some of the things that I've learned I didn't even know existed, right? And it's crazy because the whole purpose behind wealth generators is to make sure that we bring Main Street to Wall Street, right? And they have now gave this single mom who hasn't finished college so much insight on the business world because of all of these experts, that I get to be around all of these amazing people like Michelle Wilson, Annette Rayner, Robin, Patty, so many amazing people all the time, and and they start rubbing off on you when you stay around them. It's so amazing how it works. And I've been around them now for at least a year and some change now. So they've really done so much change in my life, and it's so beautiful. Now, not only has it done amazing things for me, it started rubbing off on my kids. When my friends watch my kids, majority of them say, "Hey, your daughter sounds like a little businesswoman. I like how she formulates things and puts things into perspective." Do you know what that is? That's me building a legacy, making sure, like I said, because I wrote down my plan, I wrote down my goals to make sure that my kids would be successful just like I am. And I'm going to continue to do. And it's just beautiful. But now that I told you about my plan, there's a purpose behind all of this. And I'm pretty sure you got a little bit of that with me telling you about my story with my kids. I don't just want to create a legacy for them, but I want a legacy for generations, right? So wealth generators makes perfect sense for that. WG really helped me by giving me the access and the tools to ensure this success. Information that I would have never had access to. And it's really an amazing thing. So what I'm gonna do is I think my face just disappeared. I'm not sure. My face might have disappeared. I just wanted to give you guys one of the quotes that I wrote down for you, because for me this quote was so empowering, and it's by Thomas Edison. And he says, "Vision without execution is delusion." I think that that is so powerful. Now, what I would tell you ladies, what I will tell you ladies, you're already, okay, there we go. Okay, awesome. What I would tell you ladies is to think about, oh no, did it go off? What I would tell you ladies is to really think about those favorite pair of shoes, right? Not only the favorite pair of shoes, think about that one movie that you said you had to see in theater. Think about that vacation that you wanted to go on. Think about that outfit that you wanted. In order to actually, let me walk away because they're getting a little loud. In order to actually get all of these things, what you had to do was have a plan. Even as little as getting shoes, you had to have a plan. So what I'm telling you is there's a purpose behind everything that you do. And if you decide that your purpose is great enough, you will really conduct a plan. And that's what we do here, and that's something that you really have, but it's a decision that you have to first make by yourself. I can tell you another story about planning, because planning is everything. Over these last 2 years, I told myself that I want to speak in New York. That was a big goal of mine. I was like, I want to speak in New York. There's no way that I'm not going to speak in New York. I want to do what I've seen my big bro do, what I've seen my first mentors do. I want to do that. I want to inspire people. I want to impact lives. How do I get that done? I had to plan that out. I had to put work in. When I say work, I mean tireless efforts of work, making sure that I'm taking notes, because notes are so important, right? And you have to execute all of these things. There's not an exit over here. So from downstairs, there's an escalator right over there. Yes. No, no problem. It's so funny when you try to give people directions. I think it's funny. But like I was saying, you you have to be able to really plan out what you want, right? There's purpose behind everything, but if you don't plan it out, nothing nothing at all can happen for you. If you don't plan, if you don't put the effort in, what is there? Can you really think about that? That's what I want you to really think about. What is there if you do not plan it out? If I did not sit down and write down notes, and not only write down notes, but made sure that I had material for you ladies and gentlemen sometimes, what would I be saying? If I didn't think about the strategic planning that I needed to do in order to make sure that this call was great, what would it be? That's my life. That's every day. Every day I have to think about what is the next steps to get me closer to my end goal, which is building a legacy. What do I need to do this? I have to work these plans that I made for my purpose. And I hope that you guys can all understand how important purpose is. The other thing I will tell you is that this is such a big building. So I'm actually in the convention center. And what I decided was that I wanted to see the convention center and I wanted to get into this training. I worked the event so that I could see the trainings that was going to happen here. And it's not all the time that your purpose and your plan is something that you want to do, right? I've been here for hours and I've been here all week, right? Killing it, making sure that I do the best that I can so that I get what I want. I've gotten a book by one of the people that inspire me. His name is Gary V, that is. See him right there? You know, because I worked tirelessly on my goals. I knew that I wanted the training. So in order for me to get things that I want, I have to put the work in. And that's what I would tell all of you ladies. You have to put the work in order to get the goals and all of the things that you want. A dreamer that just has dreams is only wishes. And that was one of the quotes I seen today. And I was like, wow, that is so true. Like, wow. Oh my gosh. Like, it really is. Imagine if I just sat down and stayed in the shelter and just looked out the window and was like, I wish I could leave. I just wish I could leave. And I didn't do anything. You wouldn't even know me. But because I took the proper steps in order to get what I wanted, you see me and you'll continue to see me. And I'll always do amazing things. And I will always have great content for you because my goal is to impact lives and build a legacy for my family. That's all there is. There's nothing else left because it brings me happiness. That's true purpose. That's my pursuit, right? And I hope that all of you can do the same thing. Set goals, right? And then plan for them. You have to. Because if you don't plan it out, it's going to take so long and there's so many circles and so many errors that can happen. But plan them out and execute them. Make sure you give it your all. Giving it your all is what you need to do. Always give it your all. Now, I'm not sure what time it is. Okay, so it's 9:51. Have a good night. Thank you so much. I am so excited that I got to do this call with you ladies, and I hope that you really understand that purpose and planning are two things that you definitely need. Purpose and planning, and of course, execution. Because without one piece, you won't be successful. I hope you have a wonderful night, kings and queens. Strive for greatness. Have a great night. Bye.